Alrighty, so I don't usually make videos like this, and when I say that I mean I don't interrupt the creative process, but dude, I could not resist. Um, Guys, this motherboard is something else, okay? Um, I want to show you, I got an initial, I just did stock and, like, my normal undervolt, because I'm undervolting nowadays, and I wanted stock because, what was I saying? An undervolted stock, sorry. I wanted XMP just because I wanted to make sure the board wasn't, just crapping out of the box. So I loaded XMP. I did not have to adjust much, and it obviously ran stable because obviously XMP is stable. It's easy, right? But I want you guys to understand, like, um, so you can't see in Elite, you can't see the TX voltage and the SA voltage. This board matches your VDD2 rail to your RAM rail, which makes it extremely easy because you don't actually touch it. You can just leave it. If you leave it, it'll run by itself, and you'll never have to adjust it, which is wow. Like, it's so fucking nice. But what I wanted to show you guys was, okay, so I disabled the P calls, oh sorry, equals, because I wanted to see if 512 works. It does work. So in BIOS you actually have a toggle, and you can actually select whether you want whether you want the latest Ucode patch or the older one. So if you have a older like CPU, you should definitely opt for the older patch because you get 512 back. If you are in a KS, you can add in the newer patch because you need the newer patch for KS. If you don't have the newest patch, or at least microcode 18, KS will not work. So you have, well, it will work, but it'll run at really wonky speeds. You need to have patch 18 or later on. So if you are getting a KS and you are on this like current older patch, it doesn't matter. Reset CMOS, it'll automatically set back to latest, and then you'll be fine. But obviously just boot and change it again, whatever. But so you can, if you on older CPU, the dark board has two microcodes built in, which is great. Just like the ASRock boards have it, and the MSI boards has it. But I'll take a video just now on BIOS. The BIOS is beautiful, and this is so cool. Like, so you get 512 back. That's 100%. Now, guys, 6400 right now. My XMP that I had stable in that picture just there on Linpack. Guys, look at SA. 0.95, okay? 0.95. And TX, 1.1, dude. Dude, 1.1 transmitter voltage. And 0.95 SA. And this board is doing 6400, no problem. Now, you can do high speeds at low SA on other boards. But you can't do low TX voltage. Like, dude, this is insane. Like, this is crazy. This board is, like, I just can't describe to you how impressed I am by what EVGA has done. Like, how do you manufacture a board that just runs DDR5 so superior to other vendors? It's actually insane. Like, it's just mind-blowing. But alright, let me grab some footage of BIOS real quick. Alright, so I want to apologize first of all for the video earlier today of the unboxing. I thought it could be viewed in portrait on certain cell phones or on cell phones in general. I uploaded it as is because I figured a lot of viewers would watch it on cell phone anyway. At least that's how I watch most of my videos. Yeah, I kind of didn't want to use landscape because my room, as you could see from a few of the times I panned around, isn't exactly YouTube setup worthy. But yeah, I do apologize about that. But anyway, so we're in the BIOS and I'm in landscape now, so this will hopefully look better. Man, so first of all, the first thing you should do whenever you get a new motherboard is just get yourself accustomed to the BIOS. So first page here, or the, I guess last, but it's, I mean, however you want to look at it. The first page we're looking at here, very nice clean boot menu, or save and exit menu. You get your profiles. Now, cool thing is, I don't want to save profile, but let me just demonstrate. So, cool thing is, you can actually, like, I'm not going to save it, but you can actually use infinite characters, which is so cool. And you get like, dude, you get a million profiles, right? So, that's 10 out of 10, right? 10 out of 10. Save to USB, load from USB, 10 out of 10. Plus, the way it's laid out looks so much cleaner than Asus implementation. You get the boot menu. You get for some reason this was already synced up, but this is it's actually easier to set this time than on Asus, because in Asus there's like a delay. So if you set the time according to World Clock, it actually like delays. So you have to like nail it so it doesn't like skip a second, because the time will tick like weirdly, and then you'll end up like in a situation where like a few days later it'll be like an hour ahead or something stupid. So yeah, it's like I like the way they implement date and time, even though it's something so small, but it's a nice it's nice that it's there, like the way they've done it. You get some random settings that you probably wouldn't care about. Fast boot I leave enabled because I don't know. You get a beep as well, which is interesting. I've never had a motherboard actual like speaker on the board, but it's there's actually like some sort of tiny speaker somewhere, because you can actually hear a beep from the board itself, which is pretty cool, without having to like plug anything in. And then you get down here at CSM configuration, secure boot and stuff is on by default, which is nice, and CSM is enabled by default, which is good for resize bar. If you come to CPU configuration, like I showed earlier on, you do get 512. So if you select earlier microcode patch, you get 512. If you do later one, you get 1F. It's depending on the motherboard BIOS. So like some BIOSes might have like 13 and then like 18 or something. This one has 13 and 1F. It doesn't have 23, which is Raptor's BIOS. 23 is a fucking mess. So thank you, EVGA, for not including that mess for us, because I mean, look, 23 is fine when Raptor comes out. When that chip comes out and you want to update to Raptor's BIOS, you can do so. Do not do what Asus did. Do not ever, any vendor watching this video, anyone that writes BIOS, anyone important watching this video, probably not, but if there is anyone, never ever let your fucking company do this shit again. Like, please, like, do it this way. This is the better way. This is superior. 1F is the latest Alder Lake BIOS microcode, and until Raptor Lake is readily available, there should be no reason to be putting its microcode inside our BIOSes, because there's no point. And it makes things horrible, because then you get like the ring lock and all that crap. So Asus, please learn, do better again. So as you can see, we're on 13 microcode. I don't think it matters for RAM stability, but it does allow 512, which is always nice, so I'm keeping it on. Not that I use 512, but just to have, it's nice to have. You can adjust how many cores you want, so you can do legacy mode, lets you do like an arbitrary number of cores, and then you can do like, per core mode, which lets certain cores be disabled, which is nice. CJ Max, or TJ Max, sorry, default is 100C, which is good. That's a fairly safe number, and it's good that it's all higher than that by default, because that would be kind of crap. Everything else here is kind of arbitrary for most people. Just the normal stuff you get in every board, but they're all configured pretty much how you'd want. Oh, one thing, if you come to hardware monitor, dude, the smart fan configuration, I really like their default values. It's really nice. Those values are pretty much optimal, so I'm leaving them, and kudos to EVGA for, again, like, and Kingpin, I guess Kingpin made a board he would use, so it makes sense why the board is so good. But you get the RAM section, and the RAM section has, guess what? The RAM voltages! No way! Whoa, dude! Wow, they put the RAM, I think, didn't ASRock maybe do that? I believe they might have, but I'm not so sure they did. But yeah, for the first time, why? Why is it not a thing? Like, why do no vendors do it? It's just so fucking weird. Back to the BIOS. Like, you get RAM voltages. Again, like, I have no idea why this is omitted from so many BIOSes. Like, why do they select to do it the way they do it? We'll never know. But anyway, so you can choose a gear mode. Gear mode has no effect on the profile. So if you set gear mode 2, the profile changes and gear mode stays at 2, which is fucking great, because why have to change gear mode every time you change profiles? It's stupid. PMIC Turbo, I have no idea what this does, but I leave it on auto because I don't know what it does. As I said, I'm setting XMP right now, but XMP sets all these random XMP timings. There's everything else that you would expect, every normal timing you'd expect from any Asus board, obviously. Anything special, I mean, I don't know what this is. This is not an Asus boards, but I have no idea what this does. Don't know what that does. Okay, that's PPD, that's normal. Okay, so they give you PPD, which is nice. You can set to 0 if you want. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. If you do set to 0, be aware that you might run into some IMC.
stress, I guess you could say. Like PPD0 and TXP4 tend to really fuck the IMC and Alter deck, so I'd probably leave them. The tertiaries you need, so TWR, pre, and then PDE, and you need for setting TWR. Those are there, everything's there, everything you expect, all the tertiaries you want for performance, so everything is good. But as I said again, I'm really impressed they put the RAM voltages right here because it's just really convenient. And a cool thing is, if you go to OC, right, so now we get the board and CPU voltage settings. So not the RAM's PMIC settings, like that. Those are PMIC settings. The ones on the previous menu are PMIC settings. These ones are the actual board's generated rails. So you get SA voltage, you get your transmitter voltage for the CPU, you get AUX, obviously, you get VD2, and it's so cool they put this right here, like in this section. Like these 4 voltages grouped together, it's like, thank you for finally having some sense to your layout, like EVGA. Like, thank you for actually doing a good job laying out the BIOS, because fuck me, Asus has a horrible way of doing it. And labeling correctly, like CP VDDQ, CP VDD2, correct labels. Like, thank you, thank you. vCore is easy to navigate, simple as Asus. You know, you consider, you know, override, adapter, whatever you want to do. It's all exactly the same thing. vCore guard band, same as an Asus, but I leave it auto because why not? VDRIP is just the LLC setting. It's on auto right now because I'm on stock, so there's no need to really adjust it at stock. Because at stock, you're pretty much, according to the CPU vid, it's not according to a set voltage. So you wouldn't need to adjust it so much. PLLs, I'm leaving auto right now, but there are finally also, again, if you have eCores enabled, you'll get an Atom PLL, which basically allows you to adjust the eCores PLL by themselves, which is so cool. Because in Asus, if you do PLL settings, Core PLL is its own entity, and that governs the eCores and the vCores. Meaning, if you aren't using eCores, like it just doesn't make sense. With EVGA, if you disable eCores, you no longer have Atom PLL because there's no point, and there's no reason to adjust PLL for the Atom cores when they're disabled. So I'm not sure it matters, but it's nice that you're adjusting what needs to be adjusted, so it's congruent, like it makes sense. It's just attention to detail, man. It's like these details, like these very small factors that like add up and make a much more like streamlined experience. So, and obviously you get MC, you get SA, and you get Ring and Core, like as any other BIOS, which is what you need. But otherwise, you get LN2 mode. Not going to use that for obvious reasons, but you get LN2 mode, which is standard pretty much on XOC boards. You get extreme voltage mode. This will just raise caps of your everything pretty much, but again, unless you're doing XOCing, no reason to adjust this. Probably leave it auto or disabled, whatever. Otherwise, extras, you get a stress. I probably wouldn't use this. I don't think it's going to be effective. I would probably still in pack. You get OC robot, which I'm not sure what it does. Probably AIOC. You get BIOS up there, which is standard, great, and then you get X acceleration, which I assume is more XOC stuff that you probably won't want to touch if you're not XOCing. But otherwise, BIOS profiles, I think this is cool. I mean, look at this, guys. So we get some pretty much like, so this is like a, oh, this is Lumi's Samsung he did on video. This would work on most kits, I think. I think the odd cast should end up scaling to the higher value. So I would say this would be 36, 36, 36. Funny enough, I found on Samsung that this exact kind of configuration should work on good Samsung sticks. So 6400, 36, 36, 36 at 1.43 volts should work. Very standard Hynix daily. However, 6600, actually, no. Yeah, 6632, 3939 should be fine at 1.45 volts. I think that's a fairly doable daily on Hynix. I could do 1.5 for C30, 3939 on my old board. But I think on this board with the better layer count and the better signal, I think you could probably do it 1.45 volts, 32, 3939 on this data rate. And then this would be doable, but probably kind of hard on some sticks, I'd say. Yeah, this is not a dailyable OC, so yeah, this is, you can see with, well, I mean, 680, 30, that's quite high voltage, actually. I think, but 37, 37, yeah, that's why. So, yeah, so to understand what's happening here, guys, is Kingpin basically sacrificed voltage efficiency for TRCD TRP, because some timings will, if honest, I see that doesn't really, well, honestly, Samsung right here is doing the same as Hynix, so generally speaking, you can jack up voltage to manipulate some timings to get them to run. These will not be dailyable because this is just a really tight TRCD and TRP, but for GB3, if you are trying to chase max scores, you are going to want to do something like this. Now, I would highly not recommend doing this if you're not a XOC or a benchmarker, but you can do this kind of thing. When I was doing even 3D Mark last year, like with my Micron Rev B sticks, I was, the 5100 sticks, I was doing like 5000 C17 at like 1.65 volts, just because it doesn't have to be daily stable, but it has to be working for the benchmark. So you can do that. But anyway, these ones labeled dailies are what you could try. They might work. Some might not work. Like this one might not work because it's just a bit aggressive for most sticks. I think you need a really good bin. You could do this, but it's just not probably gonna work. So 1T seems good up to, you get some, okay, never mind. So, this is LN2, so yeah, okay, thought so. So 1T on this board seems pretty doable up to 633. From 7,000 onwards, you're doing 2T most of the time. So Kingpin has daily for you. It's 7,000 C32. 1.45 volts 2T. I mean, you could try. It's doable, but again, you'd need very good sticks. But it's a cool profile that's there, and if you want to try it, you can try it. This one, again, probably isn't going to work for most people, but it's nice that it's there. And also, Lumi made a video about the same profile, like even getting it stable and everything. So, yeah, pretty cool that you can use the stuff that your favorite YouTubers have shown in video. It's cool. It's cool. So, that's there, and then you get some more Geekbench stuff. I think these are probably going to be early on. I think these are maybe like back in the beginning of D5 when we weren't sure how much voltage you needed and stuff. But yeah, this is the daily, and more Geekbench, LN2 stuff. Yeah, these are very, very hard to hit, guys. Very hard to hit. 7400, 7600, 7800, 8000. Yeah, these are extremely hard to hit. So if you are going to try these profiles, I mean, anyone that's going to try this is definitely XOC, so you already know what you're doing. But yeah, so something like this, I mean, on LN2, it's cool that it's there. It's nice that they give you something that can break records, for free. It's cool. But yeah, I think for most people, if you are not into like tuning and you just want like a nice experience, if you have Hynix, I would say this profile is probably like rock solid on most sticks for Hynix, and maybe even this one. This one's probably doable, right? Like this could probably be done. This not so much, because this will either default to 30 or 32. But even though it's still 633 at 1.4 volts, I just don't feel like most people are going to be able to hit these kinds of numbers at 1.48 volts. However, with good sticks, I think this should be doable. But yeah, I mean, I could try one of these, but I would like to chase my own, to be honest. But yeah, this BIOS is 10 out of 10. Like, 10 out of 10. There is literally nothing to complain about. There's nothing to want. There's nothing to complain about. There's nothing out of place. There's nothing weird. I honestly, I'm speechless. Like, this BIOS is wow. Okay, just wow. And I guess while I'm here, I don't want to do it with P-cores only. I want to do it with E-cores on as well. So I'm going to boot my stock profile real quick. Save configuration, yes. Okay, and I'll show you also how the boot time is. Also, for some reason, you can't adjust fast boot for memory. So memory fast boot's kind of auto-enabled, and that's kind of something you can't adjust, which is a bit weird, but it's fine. it shouldn't matter too much. But yeah, so boot time is quick compared to Asus. It's damn quick, and you hear the beep. So boot time is damn fast. No, I don't think it's, but that's all good. Memory change, no, it shouldn't change. I think it's because of the it changed from no equals to equals on. There we go. So boot time is relatively fast. But yeah, this board is cool, and I'm gonna come back in a bit with some more actual XOC stuff. Well, not XOC stuff, sorry, OC stuff, just some normal daily stuff that I usually do. You know, my usual max mem type shit. But yeah, guys,